the methodologist in me is curious to know, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what was the light bulb moment for you, or what initiated that light bulb moment where, these people are early adopters of technology? Was it a survey item, or was it behavioral, or, how did you, what shined through as like, this is a good proxy for, early tech adoption?
So it was interesting because when a sports property, all right, kind of generates a survey. One of the reasons why they want to try to gather information is because they want to align their consumers with their sponsors, right? So one of the things that we were trying, because we didn't have, typically when you negotiate a collective bargaining agreement, at the end of the CBA, all of your agreements end. Your sponsorship agreements end, your rights holders agreements end, everything ends, so that there's kind of like no lag or overlap. So we understood that we were starting from ground zero, terrible term, forgive me for saying that, but we were starting from nothing. And we needed to identify for potential sponsors who those would be. And we couldn't fall back on, well, Coke used to be our sponsor, and this used to be our sponsor, and that used to be our sponsor, because they didn't exist in our world. So we needed to understand who our consumer was going to be so that we could then start to focus on sponsorship and who those sponsors would be. So not that I remember the specific questions, but to your point of methodology, when we're getting to the likes and the habits and the behaviors of our core consumers, we wanted to understand, we knew that they were male, we knew that they were affluent, so we wanted to understand, how do you spend your money? And when they started saying things that were related to technology, things that were related to mobile phones, things that were related to the internet, things that were related to the next iteration beyond cable, that showed us that they're going to spend their money on technology. They get this. And so understanding that helped us make that leap. Now, again, it wasn't until we could confirm that All-Star fan balloting really was a better mousetrap digitally that we could confirm that we were on the right path. But we pretty much thought that, well, we couldn't do things the way we used to do them, because then we'd be getting, little drips and drabs of value after all the other leagues got them. But once we were able to show that our core consumer really did engage in digital voting, they really did have access to all of this information, it made it a much easier value proposition for us to bring on a Verizon, or to bring on brands that were more in the technical space, more advanced than the Coca-Colas of the world. So it really did, that methodology in understanding who our core consumer was, what their behaviors were, that's really what made the difference.